Hi, I'm Alderman Berny Stone. Stay tuned. Taped with Rabbi Doug is next.
We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug on your TV tonight.
But Daddy, I want to watch Monday Night Football.
Forget about Monday Night Football. There's no other thing we're going to watch on Mondays but Rabbi Doug.
Yeah, Rabbi Doug on TV tonight. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. Oh, everybody talk about Doug.
Shalom and welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug. Welcome to the offices of Alderman Bernard L. Stone.
Hi,
Alderman
Rabbi,
Stone,
how are you?
I am good. Welcome to the show. You are running now for re-election. How many years have you been alderman in the 50th Ward of Chicago?
Well, this is my, I'm in my 38th year.
38th year. And how many times have you been re-elected in those 38 years?
Re-elected 9 times. I'm running for my 11th term.
11th term. It's just amazing. You are also, of course, the vice mayor of Chicago, and your children are building committee.
Committee on buildings.
But
yes.
you sit on other committees also.
I sit on 7 other committees.
7 other committees. It's amazing. And you go downtown every single morning, pretty much, and except when you're in,
except for Friday.
because you're in your 50th ward office.
That's correct.
So, but you're in the office early every day, and there are some days that you are actually downtown during the day, and then you spend the evenings seeing constituents in your office.
Monday and Thursday, I'm out in the ward office in the evening.
And tell me something. How many residents are there approximately in the 50th ward?
About 58,000.
About 58,000. Now, in the terms that you've been here, the 10 terms in office, obviously West Rogers Park in the 50th ward has, which a little bit of Peterson Park, a little bit, it's changed a lot, obviously,
Oh, yes.
and neighborhoods have changed, the
demographics,
and the ward has changed also. The city has also changed the
every
size.
every 10 years, because of the census, we change, we move the lines because we have to keep within 1/50th of the city's population.
Uh-huh.
In other words, every 10 years, we make sure that one vote per population.
So each ward is approximately the same size in population.
That is correct.
I did not know that, so that's something I just learned.
Yeah.
Tell me, first of all, and I know I want to mention, because you appear regularly with updates on the 50th ward on the Northtown News Magazine with Avi Myers,
That's correct.
and I know we do find those things. But what right now, currently, between now and there's the election in February, what is new in the 50th ward going on right now, currently?
Well, there's many things going on. Well, yeah, I mean, Avi always has me go over the new construction, and contrary to many areas of the city where there is no construction going on, we have a lot of new construction going on. But we go over different new construction. We go over different activities. Currently, we just finished a new Walgreens on Western Avenue. Aldi's tripled in size on California. I have three construction jobs going on Devon Avenue.
Including a very large one at Rockwell.
At Rockwell, that's the parking garage, which is almost finished. And then we have 2 4-story buildings on the 2600 block of Devon. And we're still trying to get a mortgage for the 2500 block, that building that burned down 4 years ago.
Where right now there is actually
a big hole in the ground.
I was going to say a big foundation with nothing being built in it.
Well, the problem, of course, is the economy. It's hard to get a mortgage.
Sure.
That's Mr. Latif, and he's been trying to get his mortgage. When he got ready to start building, the economy failed, and that's really been the drawback on many things. For instance, there was a foreclosure on the building on the northwest corner of Oakley and Devon, and that's a number of stores and 28 apartments. The the bank was about to rehab that building, and then the economy and the new owner under the foreclosure couldn't go ahead with his rehab because he didn't have the funds. So I mean, these things, the economy affects many of the new projects.
And that's probably affected empty storefronts being filled and things like that in the 50th Ward.
We've been very fortunate in that many of the storefronts, as businesses either moved or failed, we've been able to replace them. Contrary to the idea that there's many empty stores, as you'll notice, for instance. Good Morgan Fishery.
Right, that store closed.
And now it's been replaced.
Devon Kosher Fish and Pizza, or Pizza and Fish, right?
Yeah, and that's been replaced.
Yeah.
The bookstore moved out, and now if we could find the owner of that building, we got somebody to replace them.
Oh, we have somebody interested. Very nice.
So there's activity. We're fortunate in that respect. It took me 2 years to get Dominic's to come back, but we got Dominic's to come back on Ridge.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing, and it's a beautiful store.
And it is, and it serves that community was really in bad shape until we got Dominic's to come back.
We didn't even have a major grocery chain in the 50th Ward until you got that reopened.
Yes, and it takes time, but you have to work with people, and you eventually can get things done.
We're being watched all over Chicago and the suburbs. Tell me, for people who've never visited their alderman, when someone comes to the alderman's office, what kind of services or what kind of problems in their home can they contact the alderman's office and have fixed?
Well, I can't tell you that we can fix every problem because we can't.
Right.
People come to me with problems really that sometimes are federal problems, and sometimes we have to refer them to their Congress, in our case, Congresswoman. Sometimes we have to refer them to a state legislature. But many of the things are things that we can be an advocate for, and sometimes we work with them to get them corrected.
Such as city services.
City services we take care of, we try to take care of. The economy, of course, has affected that which we can deliver. We can't always be Johnny on the spot as we used to do it, but we try.
So things like street lights out, needing garbage cans, extra garbage pickup, things like that. They call the alderman's office. The alderman reports that stuff to get it taken care of.
Now, because of the establishment of the 311, many people call 311 directly. We try and help them get it done faster. It's not always done faster these days. Let's face it. The fact is that we're dealing with less people on crews. We're dealing with less people doing more, actually, because of budget demands. We have less people performing city services. So as a result, it's not done as quickly as it used to be done.
All right. Don't blame the alderman. In other words, it's a city problem.
Well, I don't work on the truck, and I don't profess to work on the truck. But in the meantime, we work with the various commissioners. We work with their staffs. And we try and get it done as quickly as possible.
And you know most of these people yourself, being here for so long.
I not only know the commissioners, I know their deputy commissioners, I know many of the people who actually work on the garbage trucks.
And that's an amazing thing. So that's my next step I want to talk about, and that is you're running for re-election. What's the difference between someone who comes in as a freshman alderman and someone who is a seasoned alderman who's been in office for years? What is the difference in their ability to do things for their constituents and so on?
Well, I'm not gonna downgrade anybody.
Of course not.
And I'm not gonna say anything with respect to someone who comes in, because many of these people will catch on very quickly and be able to perform services. But it takes time to find out where to go and who to see and
build relationships with them.
Of course, but in the meantime, you do build relationships over the years, and you do know who to call, and you do have first name relationship with a lot of people. And in my particular case, I'm also the vice mayor, which has a little bit of push too. And I do have. The only thing I've got to say is I haven't had a ward superintendent for 3 years, and that makes a difference. I don't know why. My regular ward superintendent isn't available to me, and I can't get a replacement, and that really puts me under the gun.
And that's a city limitation? How does that come about?
Well, the story is very simple. The story is that my ward superintendent currently is not available to me.
Right. And it's not something that's easy to replace.
And even though I've asked them again and again for a replacement, I haven't received it.
I understand.
And with the current situation, you can understand why the city's trying to save money. But the people of the 50th Ward are suffering because of it.
I understand. There are 5 other people running for the 50th Ward alderman position against you. You, of course, are the incumbent and have so many things behind you. What are your plans for the future of the 50th Ward if and when you're reelected?
Well, I've been working on a plan for the last 2 years at least for a new library for the 50th Ward. For the last 8 to 10 years, I want an ambulance, and as long as we're getting an ambulance, if I can't get a new fire station, I want at least put an addition to the current fire station,
which is very small,
but does have land available right next door, so that we could add on an ambulance a garage to handle. Actually, we had plans drawn some 8 years ago, which not only would add on the garage for the ambulance, but we actually had plans for new living quarters for the firemen, living quarters that would accommodate both sexes, because right now our living quarters would not really be would accommodate both sexes. And as you know, our fire department is now co-ed, and our current quarters are really not set up for co-ed inhabitants. So we had plans drawn. I believe Chief Hartman was the chief at the time we drew the plans, and they're sitting waiting for the funds.
Let me ask you about some of the tough things that have come about. Now, one of the things that the local residents have, half of them have loved and another half of them have not loved, and that is the building of a new school on Whipple Avenue, the Westridge Elementary School. Now, that has relieved overcrowding. I know it has closed up 2 satellite locations where students were sent to because Boone School didn't have enough room in Clinton School. What is the reason that you chose the location? Because everybody wants to know. What is the reason that I know you didn't choose it yourself, but that location was the one that was actually chosen? And what is the reason that we really needed the school to be built there?
Well, the reason you already stated. The reason was that we had overcrowding at both Clinton and at Boone, and we looked for 4 years for a location. I held up for a while the building of a campus park at Stone, which I didn't want to hold up, but I had to hold up because as a potential site for a new school. And it was the wrong location, but I had to hold it up.
That's not a relative of yours, is it?
No, that was Leland Stone. One time the board suggested building in Warren Park, and the residents went bananas over that one because nobody wanted to take away parkland to build a school on it, and so that failed. So we looked and we looked and we could not find the land to build it. When the gas company decided to give up part of their land, we grabbed the 3 acres that we needed for a school.
And because the lot behind it is for people drive through, it really, residents tell me, because I've asked them, it really has not affected the neighborhood traffic in the morning when people have to get up and go to work.
They feared that there'd be bus traffic and a lot of car traffic. As a matter of fact, one of the things we have arranged, and as a matter of fact, I just signed off on a secondary road out onto Kedzie Avenue.
Wow! So it's going to happen.
Oh yes.
Oh.
And that is going to be
that's new news. This is hot news. It's going to happen.
Be a drop-off road that'll go to the school from Kedzie Avenue, and it will not go through to Whipple, but just a drop-off road to Kedzie. And that road will also serve the people south from the Clinton area, because they have really no other way to get to the school.
Except going around to Pratt.
Yes. So that'll be a service to them and the people coming, for instance, from Winston Towers, because the district goes from Winston Towers south all the way to Granville.
And then California to Kedzie?
California to Kedzie. And so...
that'll make a big difference.
Yeah, and now everybody's entitled to public school education, and certainly that education shouldn't be encumbered with having to have classes meet in the hallways, on the stage of the assembly hall, in
a rented building where our money is going to that.
But the people in the immediate vicinity said, "Oh yeah, people should have a school, but not in my backyard." Well, that's the old story.
In the other backyard, they say the same thing.
Put it in somebody else's backyard. Well, unfortunately, it was hard to find a backyard. So when it became available because of the gas company giving up the property, we grabbed for the property.
And it's a beautiful modern school.
Yeah, the school is fantastic. Not only is it terrific for the students, but for the neighborhood. During the off hours when the school is not in use as a school, the neighbors can use the school.
It's a community center, a meeting place.
It could be used for a meeting place, it could be used for gym, and it could be used for art facilities, because the school classrooms can be closed off and the public areas can be used by the neighbors.
So when neighborhood people, if they want to have a neighborhood meeting there, who do they contact? Do they contact the principal of the school?
Yeah, and they're delighted to work with the neighbors.
Wonderful.
And before the school opened, we invited the neighbors in, and they came, and they were amazed at the school, how the school is set up, and it really is a gorgeous school.
Another, thank you for clarifying that and filling us in, especially about the Kedzie access. That's going to be wonderful. Another issue that was a big hurrah when it took place not long ago was moving of parking meters. Now, I asked you this privately, and you explained to me that the contract with the parking meter company that's taking care of the parking meters was that there can't be diminished parking meters within a ward of any ward, and if parking meters are moved for one reason, they have to be moved to another commercial place to replace it. What happened that Toohey Avenue, which you would think should have had meters a long time ago, didn't have them, and now they are. They were moved, I understand, from the Devon Rockwell area. And why were those meters moved?
The Devon Rockwell only was a few meters, which was because of a left turn, and also the bus stop was moved from the west side of the street to the east, so as a result, we had to remove some of the it's
the areas.
So that, plus in front of one of the synagogues, which didn't have a parking place didn't have any parking lot for their morning services, we removed some of the parking meter area, so that their congregants could park in front on the Devon, So we actually freed up, I think, about 4 spaces so that their congregants could go to morning services. And so we were only talking maybe about 7 or 8 spaces. And those spaces were moved to TUI.
Because they had to be moved somewhere in a commercial area.
So and that was a business area.
What was the reason the area didn't have meters before as a business area? It just never was done?
It never was done.
The city never did it?
Now, a half a block away, there were meters on both sides of the street.
Right.
Now, incidentally, on the
in front of the residential area
part of
Chesterfield.
part of that area was residential. Now, the block that it was moved to, part of the area, it has meters only on one side of the street. The other side of the street is residential and doesn't have meters on the other side of the street. Now I understand, and I'm going to check it. There's a synagogue on that block.
There is. Rabbi Eichenstein, which is right.
So I'm going to remove the meters in front of that synagogue too. But they do have a parking lot, contrary to the one on.
They have an alley. They have an alley.
But there's a second synagogue on that block,
which is the Russian Heritage.
Yes, so
it doesn't have any parking.
Right. So I may have to remove it in front of that synagogue.
I understand.
So,
wow. So it is.
So, you know, but we'll balance it off.
Sure. Tell me what.
Well, sometimes you have to make the. I didn't choose the sites.
Right.
Let's understand this.
Yes.
I don't choose.
I wanted
the
to make
sites.
that clear.
But these decisions really there really isn't a choice on these decisions. I don't have the choice on these decisions, but somebody who's on a commercial street shouldn't be upset over the fact that they have metered parking.
Sure.
Because on commercial street, that's a norm. That's the norm, not unusual.
It was unusual that they didn't have it.
Yes.
So let me ask you now, because we only have a few minutes left on this show, but I hope we'll do this again. Tell me, or tell our audience really in the next few minutes, why should Bernie Stone be their alderman in the 50th Ward once again in the February 2011 elections when people vote?
Well, in particular, this term. First of all, let me say this to my constituents. In the years that I've served you, there has been no more productive time that I've served my constituents than the last 4 years. In the last 4 years, I've been able to deliver more services in the most toughest time of all. We've had lighting I've given you $1 million a year in lighting throughout the ward, which is really a crime fighter. I've been able to in tough economic times, we've been able to make progress on our replacement of these businesses that have left Devon, and to keep building going during these tough economic times. We've been able to move ahead in many other fields of progress. I brought back Dominic's when Dominic's had left us. I had all these triple in size. I brought another Walgreens, and another Walgreens is coming again. Another Walgreens will be coming, and a CVS is coming. I have other plans for the ward. We have a library being planned for the ward. I want to continue to serve my constituency. I don't like the fact that people are saying, well, you're getting too old. Listen, I'm not going to let people say to me that age is a hindrance, because in the fact is that I'm able to deliver services to my constituents because I have the experience and I have the wisdom that came with that experience. So I want to help my constituents, and I have helped you over the years, and I want to continue to serve my constituents in the manner in which I've served you in the past. And I think I can continue to serve my constituents and you shouldn't feel that age is a hindrance, because it is not a hindrance.
Maybe an advantage.
I know it's an advantage.
Uh-huh.
And when my colleagues come to me and ask for my advice, and they do, that means that they respect me. And I would hope that my constituents would understand that the reason they come and ask me for advice is that I know a little bit about municipal government. Now we're going to have a new mayor. A new mayor is coming into office, and he's going to need people like Berny Stone to help him. And that's why one of the reasons I'm running for re-election is because I want to be there so this city can continue to be one of the great cities of the world. And I want to be there so that I can add my experience and my knowledge and my ability, particularly in the field of municipal finance, because there aren't too many in the city council that really have the experience with municipal finance that I have. And I want to be there to help whoever is elected mayor. I am not endorsing any candidate for mayor, because I want to be there to help whoever is elected. Whoever my constituents feel should be the mayor, I want to help him. And,
or her.
Or her. That's correct. There is one candidate who was running who was a female, and I know her very well. But in any event, I want to help whoever is elected mayor. So that's why I'm looking to my constituents to return me to office so that this city can continue to be one of the great world cities. And I love Chicago just as Mayor Richard Daley loved Chicago. And I love particularly my part of town, because I've lived here for almost 60 years. And I want to continue to serve the constituents who have given me this trust, and I want to continue to serve you to the best of my ability.
Right. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alderman Bernard Stone, Vice
you.
Mayor of Chicago and Alderman of the 50th Ward, thank you for being with us, and we look forward to much success in all your endeavors. And I want to thank you for being with us. Remember, you can check out our website, www.tvrabbi.com, where you can also watch our show on the web. And if you want to email me or send an email to the Alderman, you can send it to me at info@tvrabbi.com, and I will forward it to him. And I know he returns all his emails and all the letters that are sent to him, to the 50th Ward and to the City Council. Thanks again for being with us here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Hope to see you next time. Shalom, everyone.
And I'm talking about Rabbi Doug. Talking about Rabbi Doug. Talking about Rabbi Doug on your TV show. Well, he's the rabbi for me. Anytime you need. You're gonna get married or you're gonna die. Gonna see Rabbi Doug. Gonna see Rabbi Doug. Gonna see Rabbi Doug. Gonna see Rabbi Doug on the TV tonight.
This has been a Taped with Rabbi Doug production.